Hi, Joy McDonnell here from EK Success Brands, and I want to show you the technique of masking using Inkadinkado stamps and inks. So let's get started. It's easy to do. Inkadinkado has a new masking paper, and a lot of people will ask, well, what's the difference between a masking paper and just a regular sheet of paper? The difference is that this particular paper has an adhesive in the center, so when you work with it, you want to think about it. It's a repositionable paper. It's going to take me a few minutes to get it undone, but it's a repositionable, and I can use that over and over and over again. So I can create perspective this way. You want to remember that you're stamping on the white side, not the green side. So I have the green side up on purpose to talk about that. I am going to use you can use any stamp that you want. What you're doing is you're creating perspective, one thing that looks like it's in front of the other. So I'm also using the pigment inks here that I have from the tower. The difference between a pigment ink and a chalk ink, a dye ink, this one's available also in dye and chalk, is that a pigment ink will dry slower and it stays moist, so I can use it with an embossing powder, whereas a dye ink will dry really fast and I can't use it with an embossing powder. So I wanted to just remind you about that. I'm going to lay out a few different colors here. It doesn't matter what order or what colors I use. I just want to, on the first piece, I just want to get an image of my stamp, because this is what I'm going to use as the mask. And I go ahead and I ink my stamp as regular and then stamp right onto the masking paper. And it doesn't have to be a perfect image, don't worry about that. I'm using my honeybee scissors. These have a Teflon coating, so they won't stick to the masking paper. And I'm going to cut around the leaf. And I don't have to do a fussy cut. I can just get kind of in here and give a pretty basic cut. I just want to make sure that I have the shape, because when I stamp my next one around this, I want to make sure that one is showing in front of the other. And if I want to, I can get super fancy in there or not. One of the things about cutting that you always want to keep in mind is that the easiest way to cut is to keep your scissors still and move your paper. So you can see that as I'm cutting, I'm not really moving my scissors, I'm moving my piece of paper. And that helps to get a nice smooth cut and not look like my little first grade child. So here we go. I've got my little mask all ready, and I'm going to go to my paper that I will use, and I want to expose this, which is going to take me another second to do because you got to work it apart from each other. And I'm just going to put it on the side. Go ahead and stamp my my stamp, and this time I'm going to do something fun with my tower colors and sort of mix up my colors and do multiple colors on one stamp. So I'm going to pull some different colors in here, and then I go ahead and stamp, and I'm going to do the center here. And then once I've done that, I take my mask that I just made and I put it right over the top of what I stamped. And I want to get it. You do want to take some time to get this right, because it does matter. So that looks good. Then I'm going to go back in, re-stamp my stamp, and there's no way I'll remember what colors I had on here from the last time. So I'm just going to kind of plop some colors on, whatever I kind of think looks pretty. And it doesn't matter, it's okay if anything showed through from before. Now, this is my masked one. Got my new stamp. I'm just going to stamp right over the top. And what's going to happen, the one that's underneath is going to look like it's in the front, and then this one is going to look like it's in the back. So let's do one more just to get a good perspective on here. And again, this is, you don't have to worry about your ink colors one on top of the other. Your pad will stay clean. So make sure I got ink everywhere. And I'll sort of turn my leaf this time, do something a little bit different. And now it looks like a mess, but this is the nice thing about any kind of crafting, is when I take it apart, now it looks like I have one leaf in the front and the other leaves in the background. So that's how you get your perspective, and it's a simple matter of just using that masking paper. So it's really easy to do, fun results that you get, and everybody will think you're a genius.